Cowboys at Eagles. What happens? I don't know if you remember last year, the circumstances were very similar. However, it was Nick Foles under center, and actually, the Cowboys won 17-3. You remember that, Skip Bayless? And we want to know let's talk about this game in general. There's a point spread that's pretty interesting. 3.5-point favorites, Eagles are. What does that point spread say to you about the game, Skip?
I was shocked by this point spread. And as most people know, I'm a longtime Cowboy fan. I picked Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East this year. And yet, I'm a realist. And after the nightmare that I witnessed on Thanksgiving Day at Jerry World, I sincerely believe that my Dallas Cowboys would be 6-point underdogs at Philadelphia. Maybe 7. I didn't know, because it was just a debacle. And for them only to be 3.5-point underdogs, as they were, very wrongly, 3.5-point favorites in the game played at their place, which is actually the world's place because they don't have any home field advantage there. I am stunned by this because, obviously, the Eagles feasted on Thanksgiving on my Dallas Cowboys. 256 yards rushing, 464 total yards to Dallas's 267. Mark Sanchez looked like Roger Staubach in Dallas when he gets the ball scores 5 of the first 6 times he touches the football. It was a mismatch. And now you're telling me that at Philly, in the rematch, that it's only 3.5? I realize some people, odds makers, bettors, are prisoners of the last moment. And the last moment that we saw the Eagles, they were getting absolutely suffocated at home by the Seattle Seahawks. But are we going to put the Dallas Cowboy defense in the same sentence with Seattle's defense? As I said the other day, they don't belong in the same sentence, paragraph, chapter, book, archive, library. It's just night and day from the Cowboy defense, which, by the way, the last time we saw it the other night, I mean, they gave up 21 in the fourth quarter to Jay Cutler, and I was having to hide my eyes in that game. That's how combustible my Cowboy defense is. So I look at this Seattle game. Do you realize Seattle had the football for 42 minutes to only 18 minutes for the Eagles offense? So, yeah, Mark Sanchez threw for 96 total yards. He just didn't have the football very much because they couldn't convert a third down. And in the big picture, I thought the Eagles' defense against Russell Wilson and company actually played pretty well. Every time I looked up, Fletcher Cox was making another play. Trent Cole was making plays. They can rush the passer. They're second in the NFL in sacks, and I'm being realist about this. My Cowboys cannot rush the passer. That's their biggest flaw. That will cause the biggest deficit in this game. They'll get no pressure on Mark Sanchez and just have to make some plays in the secondary, which is hard to keep making against this high-paced, high-tempo offense. So I'm stunned by this, and right now I think it's very misleading to be at 3.5.
All right, TJ.
I look at it as Philadelphia. If you win the first game 33-10, I envision the second game is going to be somewhat similar. If you remember, DeMarco Murray, he was on a roll going into that Thanksgiving Day game, and then they pretty much shut him down.
They did.
They held him under 100 yards. They held the Cowboys under 100 yards rushing. And I think what has happened is Seattle being so good defensively made Philadelphia look really bad. And so the odds makers are saying, oh, Philadelphia's kind of falling off a little bit.
Yep.
It's just what you said. They didn't have the ball enough.
No.
They didn't. They did a pretty good job against Marshawn Lynch against the run.
I thought so.
Russell Wilson is so dynamic with the ball in his hands. He can make plays running or passing that the Eagles didn't really have a chance to get going. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to keep up with them. They ran for over 200 yards, like you said, and Mark Sanchez is doing a pretty good job in this offense. The Cowboys are probably going to – I like the Cowboys, but I think they're going to get beat down on Sunday.
So
wow.
Mark Sanchez is doing a good job.
So
he's not imitating a quarterback.
No.
So you could see the score in that 33-10 range.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, they're going to do a good job on DeMarco Murray. They did a good job on DeMarco Murray, and they will do it. The Eagles' defense is pretty good, man. They have a lot of good pieces. Michael Kendricks, he can really play.
He can.
They have a lot of good players on defense.
Yep.
Well, when you look at odds, you have to understand one thing, because you guys make great points in terms of the actual game, but with odds, it's about perception, okay? More than it is actuality, because the odds makers want you as the bettor to believe that Dallas Cowboys have a chance, Okay? And so usually a team that's playing at home, 3 points means that you have home field advantage, you get 3 points, and it's an even team. Okay? So now 3.5 is saying that the Eagles are just a tick better,
half-point better
than the Dallas Cowboys. And so now it gives you belief, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, okay, now I can go out and take a bet, a flyer on the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
When it doesn't necessarily add up, and that's what you said, something's wrong about this. But the perception is that Mark Sanchez is imitating the quarterback, and he's not playing that well. Now, was it the Seattle Seahawks defense that made him look bad? Yes, it was. Can the Dallas Cowboys duplicate that? I do not believe they can, because they don't have the personnel to do that. So this is all about the perception that the Dallas Cowboys are going to present a better game. And I believe it will be a closer game than in Dallas. For some reason, the Cowboys don't play well. They don't play the Giants well, and they don't play the Eagles well in Dallas.
Yeah, they did beat the Giants this year.
Okay, right. But I'm just saying, historically, they don't for some reason.
No, I'm with you.
And I believe it's going to be a better game on the road the Cowboys will play. Is it that close of a spread? I don't believe so, but it's all about perception.
Okay.
They want you to believe.
Okay, I hear you, and your big picture assumption is correct, but we're now all the way to Thursday of this week, and this line came out, I guess, on like Sunday night. So you would think that the bettors would be jumping so hard on the other side, right? Okay, I guess if the perception is you want people to bet on Dallas here, but if it's only 3.5, wouldn't they be betting hard on Philly? To your point, if you were a betting man, you'd say, hey,
the only chance Dallas has is DeMarco Murray gets off. And to me, it's going to be tough. DeMarco Murray's having a fantastic – you cannot pick a better year to have than he's having. And it's his contract year. I mean, it works out no better than what he's doing.
Right.
But it's tough sledding, man. The Eagles' defense, they're really good. They didn't do that bad against Seattle.
I didn't think so.
They really didn't.
Yeah.
And if everybody had the pieces like Seattle, things would be different. But Seattle, they just have athletes everywhere.
But to finish my point about the 3.5,
right.
it stayed all week. No, it didn't fluctuate.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
If I'm an Eagles fan and I saw what I saw in the last game, and the Eagles were a 6.5-point favorite, would you go with the Eagles? No, you wouldn't. You think that's too much because of what you just saw. So that's why you have to bring it for both sides.
But it's the NFL.
Okay, because if you make it a 6.5-point line the Eagles way, you're not even going to touch it. You're saying, whoa, that doesn't make any sense the way they just played.
Yep.
So it's the perception that the Eagles played poorly and the Cowboys are better than how they played the last game. So that's kind of complete on both sides.
You got this the NFL. You know, from when we would play, you guys, we weren't very good in Cincinnati, but we would always give you a prime example. The Raiders go and beat the 49ers last week. Anything can happen in the NFL, so you have to make it somewhat respectable.
But you also have to understand, when Cincinnati plays the Steelers always play Cincinnati tough in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they get up.
And Cincinnati plays the Steelers tough in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And it's one of those, we always win in Cincinnati, we lose in Pittsburgh. And those things just happen. That's part of the NFL, and that's what that's what Vegas knows.
The division is somewhat on the line here in this game. So it's
not somewhat.
But not complete. There's still 2 more games to go.
Yes,
and a lot could happen in those 2 games.
I was going to, you want to go? Because I want to ask Bus a quick question about saying the division is online, because I don't think it is. Go ahead. No, but finish your point.
Okay, here's my point, and I'm going to save my pick on this game until tomorrow.
Yes.
But again, I'm way out on the limb. I got Dallas winning this division. So do I need this? Yeah,
yes,
I do need it.
Need it.
Is it going to be over if Dallas loses? No, it's not going to be over. 2 more big games to play. Here's the only thing I'm hanging my hat on, like clinging by my fingernails to. My Cowboys, to your point, they're 6-0 away from home. 6-0, and that's by 2 games, the best record in the National Football League. Nobody is within 2 games of 6-0 away. So I don't know what it is. They don't like playing in this new stadium. They don't feel homey there. They don't feel comfortable there. But they do like bonding, pulling back together, going away. And the aberration game of the year was the one you brought up last year.
Yeah.
Go look at the numbers for that game. It's inexplicable how, remember, that Cowboy defense allowed the most yards in the National Football League last year. We're talking about last season. That Eagle offense last year under Chip Kelly had the second most yards of the whole year in the National Football League. And somehow Dallas went into Philly and held them to 3 points at home. You can say it's just one of those NFL Sunday games. You know, anything can happen on any given Sunday. But still, 3 points.
Yeah.
So at least they have the confidence that we did do something there last year that was pretty great. And they also had 10 days to get their quarterback as healthy as he can be for this game.
Rest,
okay, which is a big deal because on Thanksgiving he clearly was not ready with his fractures in his back that you've had.
All right, so both teams are 9-4. He said the division's on the line. You don't think so just yet. As a player, how important is this game for you?
As a player, you think that it's on the line. Yeah. Because as a player, you want to control your own destiny. And so the goal here, if we want to win a division, we have got to beat the Eagles in our division in order to have a chance to win the division. So as a player, you're thinking, no, we got 2 more games. No, this is it. This is the one game we have to win because if we win this game, we control our own destiny. Not we have to hope that someone loses and they got to lose 2 games.
Sitting on the side, watching the scoreboard.
Watching the scoreboard, right. You want to go out there and win the game so that now you control your own destiny. That's what every player is thinking. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are thinking. And that's what the Eagles are thinking. We got to win this game so that we win the division.
So now let's talk about a big